Hi, I'm Mrs. Wheeler. We're here today to set up your supplies. So I have all the supplies on my desk that you should have, either that your parents brought you or that you picked up here at school. We're going to get started with the school supplies that your parents brought you. You were asked to buy 2 packs of crayons. You don't need both packs right now, so if you only have one, that's fine. I'm going to actually put one aside so I can use those later in the school year when these ones start to break and get dull. So you should have 1 pack of crowns. You were also asked to get 10 glue sticks. So if you don't have 10, that's fine. 1 or 2 will do for now. And as these run out, you can go ahead and buy more. If you do have 10, put the rest aside. Just have 1 or 2 good ones in your work area every day. We're not going to use them every day, but you just want to have your supplies ready to go for whenever we need them. You should also have 2 highlighters. Again, 1 for now and 1 for later. That way, when this one runs out, you don't have to ask your parents to go to the store. You have it put aside for you for another time. You should have 4 dry erase markers. I have 4. If you only have 1 or 2, again, that's fine because I'm actually going to put 3 of them aside, and I'm going to keep 1 good one for now at my desk with the rest of my supplies. Some of you may or may not have dry erase boards. I am going to talk to your parents about that and tell you some tips on how you can make your own dry erase board or where you can go buy one. You should also have a bunch of pencils. We obviously don't need all of those pencils at once, so I'm going to keep 4 sharpened pencils with me at my desk, so if I'm doing my work and one breaks, I can just grab another one and not have to worry about going to go find a pencil sharpener. I'm going to put all the rest of them away. As these ones break and get dull, or I can't use them anymore, then I'll go ahead and grab my new ones. You should also have a pair of scissors. We're not going to be cutting every day, but again, you should have those with you. So those are some of the supplies you need. Your scissors, your pencils, your glue sticks, your crayons, highlighter, dry erase marker. Those are supplies that can go into your pencil box or your pencil pouch, or maybe you just have a bucket that you're going to use at home. Wherever you're going to keep your supplies, you can go ahead and stick those there. If you want to pause the video now, you can go ahead and do that. And then after you do that, come back and we'll go over the rest of the supplies that you should have. Okay, you should also have a pack of index cards. You can leave them in the pack. You can open them up. You can put them in a plastic bag. However you want to organize them is fine with me. We're not going to be using them every day, but you do want to have them handy for when we do need them. Okay, you should have a pack of paper. We're going to use this paper to do independent work and as scratch paper for you when we're meeting in lessons and you have to work out problems. This is what we're going to use your scrap paper for. You can leave it in the plastic and you can open up the top like this. Maybe you might need your parents to help you or get some scissors to do that. And then as you need a sheet, you can pull it out. If you like to organize your paper in another way, that's fine. Whatever works for you at home, you just want to make sure that you do have your paper nice and handy for our lessons. Okay. And you should have 4 composition books. It doesn't matter what color they are. I just happen to have 2 red, a blue, and a black. And we're going to label those right now. I've already labeled mine, but you can use either your dry erase marker to label them. If you do use your dry erase marker, make sure that you put it aside because it smears very easily. So just put it aside till it dries. If you want and you have a permanent marker at home, that would be great because it doesn't smear. You can also just use a pen. The crayons won't write very well on here, and neither will the pencils. So if you're going to use a crayon or pencils, you may want to open up and label the inside with the subject. All right, so we're going to start labeling them now. The first one you're going to label as writing. If you need to pause the video at any time to catch up, that's fine. Just pause it, catch up, and then replay or push play to move on. All right, so 1 is labeled with writing. 1 will be labeled reading. Another will be labeled spelling. And then your last one will be labeled math. So we have math, spelling, reading, and writing. Next, we're going to label our folders. You should have a green folder, a yellow folder, a blue folder, and a red folder. Again, if you have a dry erase marker that you're labeling with, that's fine. Just make sure you put it aside and let it dry before you touch it so that it doesn't smear. You can also use your permanent marker or a pen. You can try to write on the plastic with a pen. I'm not sure how well that's going to work. We're going to start with the red folder. You're going to label your red folder Language Arts. Language Arts means spelling, writing, and reading. So the red one is Language Arts. If you don't have these particular colors, that's fine. You can label whatever one you want as Language Arts. If you have a blue one, you're going to label the blue one with the word math. Again, if it's a different color, that's fine, but if you do have a blue one, go ahead and label the blue one with the word math. The yellow one, you're going to label as, mine's kind of a yellow-green, but if you have a yellow one, you're going to label it SEL. Again, any one that you have, if it's not yellow, that's fine. And then you're going to label your last folder, and if it's green, that's great. If it's not, that's fine. I want you to label this one with the word science and social studies. That's a long one, so if you want to pause the video to copy this, science and social studies. Okay, I have all of my supplies now. I have all of my pencils and highlighters and markers and crayons and scissors and glue. I also have my paper, my index cards, my folders that are labeled, and my composition books that are labeled. The other things that you should have are some things that you picked up at school. You should have some books. So if you want to go gather those now, we're going to go over them so you know which books you should have. All right, you should have 2 purple books. They almost look the same, but if you look, they're called a little bit different, something a little bit different, and one is thick and one is thin. So when I ask you to work in your purple math book, you're going to pick one of these, and I'm going to say your purple math book that is thick or your purple math book that is thin. If you have a hard time remembering that, you can write the word thick on this one, and you can write the word thin on this one. That'll just be a good way for me to communicate with you to let you know which book we're going to be working in. So purple math books, thick and thin. You also have 2 math books that look like this, and they look very similar. But if you turn them to the spine, they say Volume 1 and Volume 2. So we have Go Math math books labeled Volume 1 and Volume 2. So when I say we're working in our Go math books, I'll tell you if it's Go Math Volume 1 or Go Math Volume 2. So those are your 4 math books. Your purple thick, your purple thin, your Go Math Volume 1 and your Go Math Volume 2. Next, let's move into our reading books. You have one that looks like this that says Into Reading, and it says My Book 1. This is also very flimsy, so I'm going to call this your paperback book. So your reading paperback book, that's called My Book 1. You also have a reading book that looks like this, and it says Reading Street, and it's a hardback cover. So if I tell you that we're working in our hardback reading book, Reading Streets, this is the one that you're going to use. Don't worry if you're confused. We are going to work on getting organized, having all of your supplies, making sure that you know which books we're working in, which folders you should be working in, and which composition books you're going to be working in. So today was just to help get you a little bit more organized. If you have a place set up at home where you're going to do school, it would be great to go ahead and set up your desk, get all your supplies, however you feel most comfortable organizing it, but then you can have everything right there ready to go each day for learning. If you don't have a permanent space to set up because you have to share your workspace with a brother or a sister, or maybe you're working every day at the kitchen table or someplace else in your house that you can set up permanently, just make sure that you have your supplies in a stack where you can access them easily. Take them to wherever you're working for the day so that you can have everything ready to go. Then you don't have to keep getting up and going back and forth from your computer to go find this or find that. It's nice to have everything in one organized place. So tomorrow, we're going to set up our notebooks. So today we just labeled them. Tomorrow we're going to set them up on how we're going to be using them. So check back in tomorrow and make sure that you have your notebooks with you and your supplies for writing. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.